But it also could be due to wanting better rotation than realizing that just north is free, which it is. But the first circle, we're going back north. We saw a lot of that in the qualifier stage of this event. And that's going to put a little bit of pressure on the teams on the east, of course.
So obviously Ghost, you know, they're just based on the plane, so no surprise to see them going north. They're going up to Tierra Bronca. OGN, another team that have always been up there as well. Tempo Storm still around. Martin, I'm going to kill you for making me putting the other name in my head because I nearly said it then. Genji down in Impala, kind of same for them. Expect to see M19 and Method splitting. Actually, it's Cloud9, right? They were splitting Los Leones with M19, so they've obviously decided they don't like that route. Yeah. Method going for this strange split that worked out for them at day one.
Yeah, they were, if I remember correctly, top of the leaderboard. And so if they can continue to have a really good day like they did 2 days ago, then they could still climb back up and get back into the top 3. It's the Knights that I'm most worried about because we saw a circle just like this in group stage where they got absolutely demolished, actually went out in 16th near the very end of the tournament, and this is an event that they absolutely want to win. So I don't think there's a single time that if they go out 16th, they'll say, oh, you know what, that's okay.
I mean, the devastation they had, obviously GLL, you know, losing out in a 1v1, and knowing that you've just lost the tournament, like after all those games played, to lose out in a 1v1. So they're absolutely, once again, in a great position after day 1 and day 2. You know, they have been one of the most consistent teams. Obviously, we were talking about FaZe Clan. You know, they've had a lot of highs, but they're actually in a little bit of a low right now. So now's the time to maybe step up. You got Team Liquid. Well, is it a shaky time for them? They're staying consistent. This is the last tournament for Scoom, and he's performing very well for the team in this event. But now, obviously, their main threat is also OGN. Now, OGN is a team that actually had a very bad first day on Miramar, so it's really interesting to see how they're going to play this one out.
Yeah, OGN. You're absolutely right about that. Really, adjustments are always made at the first couple of days. The Korean teams certainly are ones that we've at least been able to recognize and observe that they have a very good team behind them. We definitely know this for MVP and Gen G, and so I think it's fair to say that OGN are going to be in that boat as well. And so I don't think it's fair for any team in the server to think of OGN as a weak link on this map, because it is very likely that they're going to come out big. Maybe not like Vitality big or Method big from day 1 Miramar, but certainly not as bad as they were.
It was very interesting. Obviously, you guys at home, if you just tuned in while the game starts, which I know a lot of you tend to do, you missed a really good talk with Dave and with Valiant. You know, he was talking about, obviously, it was done before. I guess it was done from group stage, right? From back then. But he was talking about, obviously, VOD review. You know, like these teams will go back. They'll study teams coming into the tournament. But as he said, you know, you literally have to do it every day because the meta will change, because all the teams will go back. They'll look at how they played on the day, and they'll think, okay, when we played center, it didn't work. We're going to go edge. Edge worked for this team, so we'll try this strategy. So then literally every day you're having to test the new meta to see how it works here. Speaking of Optic, Bahawaka finds himself the first blood of the day. It goes down Keen. A Vanguard team that has not performed, sadly. You know, it's strange, right? The CIS teams, you think of Vanguard, you think of Navi, but it's M19 of the team that are shining at the moment in CIS regions.
Yeah, it's making a couple people a little bitter.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah, no, I am begrudgingly, I begrudgingly tolerate it for now. But yeah, actually a very nice crate drop at the very beginning of AWM.
For Texas as well.
On the Texas as well. He was performing amazingly yesterday. So if he's able to do the same thing here, able to pick up tons of kills as a solo individual, gatekeeping 3 other teams while the rest of his teammates are holding down a single spot, well, Knights, they're going to continue to climb up.
And I like it because they're rotating. We were talking about it. Obviously, they were caught by FaZe a number of times. FaZe rotated fairly early out of Montenuvo. This time, the Knights, obviously, with the circle being as far north as it is. This is a deep northwest circle. I'd say most of the map is playable. There is obviously, you've got the north wall, effectively, the western wall that will be pulled away from, but there's a chance and there's a lot of dips and valleys in the current circle. So with that AWM in hand of Texas, it could be crucial. DMRs are always obviously on point. We see FaZe, not a great tournament for them in all honesty. FaZe getting tagged up by Headshot. That SKS can do some work on those open top cars. But yeah, FaZe, you know, they went to Erangel. They're like, okay, we're back in Erangel. They did get a third and a second.
Yeah.
That was their best placement so far in the tournament. But Miramar has not been a map predominantly for them.
No, especially with the new roster. Definitely not as familiar on this map as well. Ooh, Moody tipping over. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're fine. That was all part of the plan. But yeah, so able to avoid those initial shots and able to get all 4 into a good position in the circle. But of course, it's the first circle. That isn't always guaranteed that you're going to continue past that with all 4 alive. We've seen so many hard shifts as well that you have no clue where the circle is going to go. And it's kind of one downside of the fact that almost everywhere in this first circle is playable, because that just means that there are even more options of where the shift can go.
See the kill points there. No surprise to see OGN and Knights up the top there. Of course, OGN had a 22 kill game yesterday. Christis, I think, picking up 9 or 10 of those kills in that matchup. Yak, actually the highest damage dealer on the team as well. I think we saw just before we came into the game here. Liquid on the move. They are, it's sometimes known as Liquimar, and they did do very well in day one on Miramar. I was getting them mixed up myself. Interested to see where they're rotating to, right? Because this is a chance that it goes into the hills in the north, and it's very rocky, bumpy territory up there. They've made this risk before when it was been an Oasis circle when I've watched them, and it's paid off. So whether they think something's going to happen here, often we'll see teams going 2-2 split. No, I've got away with that one.
We are good, but yeah, he's still trying to get away from the Knights as well. I think he should be okay. He's with the rest of his teammates. But Miraku, he actually pops out of his vehicle to take some shots at passing OGN. And here comes Liquid as well.
Where's the team that needs some points, right?
Slow drive by Ibiza with the not the buggy, the van actually, but he's gonna be okay.
Can you go fast in that van? I mean, it's always slow, right?
Oh, but look at that! It's actually a stop by a teammate. No, that was Vard. I actually thought it was a teammate for a quick second, but yeah, WTSG bounding in front of him, trying to get some shots on. Still okay.
They need all the points they can get. I mean, they are way off the pace. I think they got 450 points or somewhere around there. They're over 1,000 behind. It's not been a good tournament for Welcome to South George so far. They really need to step it up. They've still got 10 games left.
Yes.
So a lot of time. We're only at the halfway stage.
They came back very well at this point in the group stage 1. So we know that it's possible to overcome that gap between the top spots and where they are right now, but it does have to happen now, and it should probably happen before the second to last game.
Looking at the deep rotations, obviously, you know, the thing is when the circle is like this, teams can only come from one way, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to come from the top. Nobody can come from the west. They all have to come from the south or the east. So it gets very crowded, very congested. We're going to see some teams going to have to play edge. Now, a team that has been playing edge a lot throughout the tournament at the start has been Vitality. And they're a team that have really done very well with their rotations, I feel, in the first couple of days, and obviously found themselves some big chicken dinner wins yesterday. They are once again way out on the eastern side of the circle. We'll keep an eye on their trajectory. Liquid trying to turn the tables. James, the highest fragger for the team so far, got himself the most damage as well. I think it was 11 or 12 kills so far for him. Samty, Liquid are actually quite spread. Very spread. They're trying to go for this 2-2 split, but it's almost a 2-1-1.
Well, they're also just been intermingled with WTSG this whole time, and so they want to get to their position, but they also want to, if they have an opportunity to stop and deal some damage, like you saw James and Samty there, to try and deal it out. And they already had a couple of people just hanging out in those hills, so they have it secured, just trying to go for a little bit of poke if they could take it, but it wasn't a full commitment to a split just yet, it didn't look like.
Well, the Knights got themselves pretty much set. They're one-man Texas, I think, up on the hillside to the right of your screen, up on the ridge, just keeping an eye on everything that's going out there. 4 AM picked up a win at the end of day 1, but they do take the tires. Welcome to South George, and in the first circle, tires are absolutely valuable.
Hasn't gone for the tires just yet, actually. This gives WTSG if they want to go out, or maybe he did.
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
he's got the van.
You're right. We just cut to him afterwards.
Chevy Blazer,
and this
as I
actually,
like to call it.
Yeah, this put WTSG all in one vehicle. That's not a good sign in this thing. It goes fast on a flat road, but not exactly the best acceleration over hills, but they're pulling back the other way. Could go into Liquid. You can see some shots coming out from Samty, or at least a single one. So WTSG, they're able to get away by the skin of their teeth, it looks like, but definitely wounded on vehicles. And because they're not central, this could put a damper on their next rotations. And Liquid actually take this as an opportunity to move down because they notice WTSG leave. They're pushing more central.
Rafi. Oh, he lost the tire. He lost the tire. Almost flipped it. He might get away with this. The rest of his team are in the distance. He's going to bail, but no! The car goes down, and an Octave will find Rafi and Method lose their first man of the game.
I have to say, for the way that Method have been dropping on Miramar, that full wide split, only losing one is still like a positive. Because we saw in previous games how easily it is to kind of get caught out one by one, especially rotating in. Their timing was all right. Rafi did get caught out, unfortunately, but all the other three able to get there in time in a free spot. But they actually may be pushed by Optic. C9 rotating as well. The next circle was really, really central. And so this is going to be a pretty good start for a lot of these teams who are in the middle.
I wonder if the centralized circle setting's on. We'll see. We'll keep our eyes on it, in which case MVP are in a very good spot, obviously sitting center at the moment. Now, the issue is, of course, we do have El Pozo in there, and a lot of teams are going to be very hesitant to go near it. Certainly early on, we saw...
Why did 8C go there? That's a pretty far overextension from that compound, and there's no support from his teammates. Optic have a huge surround around them, though. It was Hetro that got that initial knock, and his other teammates that are closer from another angle. Hypoc taking some shots, and Woolman almost taking him down.
I mean, they tried to push for the compound, but yeah, this is cost them. Moleman does get himself the first aid off. Genji just creeping into the circle. Optic still a bit split, actually, while obviously they're the ones taking the shots here. Valiant is still in Montenuvo, so he's miles down. Youngtan goes down from MVP. That's Cloud9 pushing in. Remember, MVP very much central alongside Cloud9, so both going to fighting for that center spot. Liquid also getting involved in that fight while we watch Optic surrounding. Really good flanking work here from Hetra. 80 is going to be bled out and down. Question is, how will they get away with it? Meanwhile, OGN and Ghost also clashing on the eastern side of the circle, I believe.
Northeast.
Northeast, yeah.
Yeah, and Liquid's third partying in that engagement as well. Hypoc turning around, sending some shots back to WTSG. But unlike the previous couple of days, this is actually quite a few number of downs. Combat in the early game, and it's Allergen. He does get a trade back onto OG, and McCoy's getting the revive onto Turtle. And so I think it's a 3 versus 3 now.
Yeah, Turtle's going to get himself healed back up. Liquid also watching this, so you can't go out of the compound because Liquid will be taking shots on you, so it's a very tricky internal fight. Allergen's going to get caught out by Mirror here, but he doesn't get taken down. He does in the end as he went a little too deep. The headshot from Allergen finished off Sung Yang at the time. All that nade is going to take his life. And now it's down to McCoy. It doesn't. He was a poor nade.
It bounced back. It bounced back off the railing. But now the rest of the Ghosts are pushing in. Mirror with another down. Turtle.
Last man. Oh, he almost found the head there. Yak's coming in behind him. He's in all sorts of trouble. Turtle's going to go down. And Ghost go down as the first team eliminated. That has not gone well for them. Meanwhile, welcome to South George have been obliterated by Captain Passive and his team as M19 work their way down the hill.
I mean, they get a couple of kills, so I guess this is more action they've experienced in previous games so far.
I was actually surprised when we saw the damage, right? Obviously, we're talking about how Example was one of the highest damage dealers in this whole tournament.
They didn't really get that many kills, but
he's getting the knocks, obviously.
Yeah, they're getting the knocks, and they're at least getting the little plunk damage, whatever onomatopoeia you want to use.
Maybe knocks will become a point system, and then they'll find a new way to game the system that works out for them. But who knows?
You let them revive, just knock them again, to revive, to knock again.
Well, Jempty would have given about 100 points away the other day. Not Jempty, sorry, Jeems.
Liquid.
Oh,
they're all the same.
Well, Jempty's not technically Liquid. I hate to break it to you.
I was thinking...
You think it's Samty. You think
okay, so he's twins with Samty, but also Jeems and Samty together. Jempty is the obvious celebrity couple name.
Celebrity couple. Oh, my word. Okay, we're getting distracted away from the game. Vitality playing the edge game, working their way in, but they do have Knights, and obviously these guys are second and third in the points at the moment with OGN. No, OGN are actually Vitality at top, aren't they? 1 kill difference anyway. 7-point difference between them.
Close.
It's pretty damn close either way. Method still surrounded by Optic, by the way, and Valiant still miles from his team. He's actually on the south edge of the circle, very much on his own.
He's got a lot of space around him. So, yeah. I mean, he's good for now.
It could work out. If it goes down to El Pozo, he's going to have perfect vision. You can see him right on the bottom of the circle there. Let's see where it shrinks. Will it go center? Ooh, it's pretty center, so which means MVP is still in a great position. Cloud9, Liquid, all pretty much happy. Yeah. Outside of that, we've already seen these 3 teams taking engagements with just about everyone surrounding them, which tells you, obviously, the lay of the land does give them a lot of line of fire. Of course, they also internally can be fired upon. FaZe got that, went for that 2-2 split in the compound. They're going to try and stick to it, which is risky because they might get pulled upon. You've got a lot of teams to the left of them. Vitality, of course, they now are being gatekept by Knights. They're taking the shots on Texas as he comes down, but they are the team that has to move forward. It's a tricky rotate, right? To the right of them is a massive hill. They can't just take a big rotate.
You can't
north.
do a liquid. You can't do a venerated rotate around that. I mean, you could, but it would be quite disastrous with the distance you have to go. But it looks like, well, he's going up to get a separate angle. I don't know if this is a full rotate, but they do need to go around Knights or through them either way. And you mentioned this already, Vitality, they've been playing a lot more passive with this new roster, but they may have to get forced into a fight with this. Vanguard also being able to rotate in quite free into the top left corner of El Pozo.
They're doing it. They're doing it. They're getting around there. They're going up the big mountain roads. It's working out for them. It's giving them, obviously, the high ground. They're still well outside the circle, though, so they've still got a bit of work to do. They can traverse back down into the canyon.
They may have to go inside the crater, which is really not a good spot to be in. In fact, I'm actually quite worried for Tempo Storm because we saw what happened to Optic previously this week when you're stuck inside a crater when you have multiple teams around you. MVP Cloud9, Liquid. Speaking of Liquid, Scoom gets knocked, and that's looking like a finish if the smoke can't deploy.
Look at the tracers coming in. You can see it's Mira picking those shots off. Does manage to get Scoom down. And now Samty is back into safety. Liquid went for that 2-2 split. It's not paid off for them, as we were saying. They were up on high. They were taking a lot of shots. Does give their position away very easily. Avangard have pushed up on Cloud9 as they've worked the way on the edges of El Pozo. M19 trying to work their way in just to the right-hand side. You can see them in the distance, the little M19 sign. They're trying to push in towards FaZe Clan. Still outside is Method, the remaining members of M19. Valiant working his way through El Pozo as you do. And welcome to South George, actually almost stumbling upon Avangard.
Yeah, and that's actually Sprays. You can see, and there we go. Larson does get dropped by Diaz. It's just Miraku left from WTSG, and he's going to have to find someplace else. You usually think, oh, it's part of a city. I can probably find a safe spot at least for now in there. But that's not even okay because he got a Nuctive just north, I think. Spraying down Miraku. Here comes M19 rotating in late. Method as well. I think able to... Well, they're going to have to... Oh, no, Molman. He moved all the way down to the south. I don't know where he went. I guess trying to find some way out because they're going to have to push through Optic otherwise. Oh, Miraku getting shot by FaZe, so he's actually caught between 2 separate teams. Nuctive actually has a nade prime. I think he's going to go for the throw.
It might work with him as well. He's stuck behind that rock. Can't go one side at the moment. That vehicle's not going to move for you, son. Going to make his way through. Molman being in 3 teams. Just going to make that clear. Got to get that out there. Team Liquid, Team Wilmer, and of course now Method. But unfortunately, he has, just like Welcome to South George's Larson, ran straight into the back of Avangard on the edge of El Pozo. And it does leave Method down to 1. Just X-Chris in there. Gustav knocked out. Example, doing the damage again.
Yes. Looking at Liquid right now, they do have OGN pinned, and this is what I wanted to say when we did see Scoom go down. Because Liquid did the split, and because Scoom overextended where there was no cover, Jeems and Ibiza are in a position to gatekeep them, but M19 able to push in onto FaZe.
This is a 3-man push. Constantine's going to give the long-range fire, which is actually very clever because they know that there's 2 members in this other compound, so they know they've got the numbers advantage. Gustav tries to toss the nades out. The warehouse is a very tricky place to defend. That nade actually rattling just to the side. Now Elite Player going to look to do one of his own as he can try and peek it through the doorway, gets it around the side. Avangard trying to third party on this. Fuzzface will. Battleland goes down, and you can see Deez has got himself an easy angle. And M19's push is kind of backfiring. It leaves it a 2-on-2 in the warehouse. Yeah, they needed to go a lot faster if they didn't want a third party to happen. Nades still come through. And Gustav does go down to Constantine at distance. That big, wide open wall, virtually no cover from Constantine's long-range position. Baja also goes down, though, to X-Chris. The last member of Method able to find his way inside the circle, but he is getting shot at by other Optic members. Back here on the push, M19, Example, and Elite Player able to make their way inside the building, but here comes Mixie with the push. Needs the spray, can't get it, and that nade bounces around the side there. He needs the support now. I can see Elite Player can try and push for this one, but he's going to realize, obviously, Fuzzface and co from the side can do the work. Of course, while this has happened, the shrink of the circle has continued. It's gone on to up top of these players. So this is very much a battle for position. And it's Elite Player that will take down Mexi. And they have so far won out this battle for the compound.
Empty and Fuzzface on the left side just didn't have a position to give support with M19's attack from this angle. I'm actually surprised that a Vanguard didn't do more third-party damage. That's because they're in the middle of stopping other rotates through their position. You got Knights, you got C9 just down to the south of these guys.
There we go. The Knights trying to come in. You can see Miraku, the last man standing for Welcome to South George. Knights trying to find a home right now, and really that home is just simply a little nook and cranny, a rock that they can find. They've actually pulled up right next to Constantine. Texas, does he just have a peek of him? I don't think he can see him over that mound, which is why both of them, Constantine well aware because he heard the bite coming in. Texas is going to get caught out here. No way he's going to survive it. He pulls out the AWM, and now he does realize it because Constantine takes down Kramer. He will actually flush him out, but now Texas is going to be able to just surely pop over the hill and finish him off. Texas, the nade, it's actually gone off to the right-hand side. Constantine's nade looks like it's pinpoint accurate towards Texas. Texas has got to avoid these as the second one going towards him, and it will catch him. Texas will go down. The second nade will do the job. And, well, Knights lose 2 in the rotate.
Constantine's position here is doing wonders for M19, picking up quite a number of kills, not what we expected at all.
They lost 3. I think Dre's the last man standing for the Knights. That's not been a good rotate for them. Interestingly, Vitality, the ones that were being gatekept, have actually found the way around the south, like you say, got themselves in this spot. Now, it's not a safe spot. Avangard taking shots. Gen.G certainly don't quite have an angle from where we are right now. Cloud9, however, you can see up in the church have prime position to keep taking shots on these guys. MVP, who was sitting comfy in their little compound, still very much happy. Liquid have to come down the edge here. This time, they're coming over the top of 4 AM as opposed to day 1.
Yeah, they do have to worry about their backside because it looks like Tempo Storm are approaching, trying to go for that crate, and they hear the bikes. Ibiza primes a grenade as well, just in case it's a hard push, but they're not that close just yet. They do spot it out, and that's a problem for them because now they're caught between 4 AM and Tempo Storm. You can see them having to rotate a little bit further back, may want to use that cliff to isolate themselves from 4 AM, but nonetheless, a what V3? 3 teams almost? Look at the shot from Stab from Cloud9 off in the distance as well.
An MVP, if they turn around, they're going to have clean shots on the back of Tempo Storm. Really like that smoke from Zampa, distraction smoke. Threw it over there, then carried on running. So they're thinking, oh, he's behind this rock, but he's not. Now look at the circle update. It goes on to MVP again. They were center circle from circle 1, and it has continued to go their way. Looking very good for the Koreans at the moment. Zampa continuing to flank around. Tempo Storm, really nice flank here. Liquid staying fairly static on the hill. They do have this little dip that's giving them all the cover right now. But now, if Tempo Storm can get close enough, a couple of nades could end Liquid's dreams.
They could, but Tempo Storm also need to make sure that they don't get in shooting range, shooting distance, angle of 4 AM, who could easily third-party this entire fight. But Dre, first down onto Ibiza.
Gets himself in there. Liquid flush. There's the nade. That's what we were talking about. Zampa gets in. Maluke does the job, and Liquid all too tight. Tempo Storm's spread was really nice. Flank around the hill. Amazed they actually didn't get third-party by anyone. Now, 4 AM did take a positional advantage over that, so they've got eyes on them. Yeah. But they need to be wary because OGN have still 2 members behind them.
It's only a couple of players for OGN. I can't imagine they're going to go too aggressive, but then again, we've seen how aggressive the Koreans have been previously. But there's a fight down the south. Vitality taking a lot of shots from Gen.G. They got to get into the circle because it's about to close in 2 seconds.
And there is Tempo Storm 4 AM. They're clashing. Obviously, that was in the north. FaZe repositioning. Gemty and Fuzzface. Looks like they found themselves an angle, but no. Gemty gets around the side. Hetra trying to keep his hopes alive somehow. Optic do still have that 1 in there. Chris also with a 1 as well. Yannick, that's a Vitality. They have to push through. Gen.G are just going to try and cruise straight up on a Vanguard. Not too sure that's going to work out in their favor. Monkey catching Mumino, so they're getting third-partied while Gen.G drive up on them. This is horrific for our Vanguard. They will get Sims down. Meanwhile, they have to get themselves around the side. Wicked also dealt with by M19. Noctiv gets taken down, and Vanguard just been third-partied from every direction. Now it's Cloud9's turn from this church, this hillside position, to keep taking shots on Vitality as they run through the hills.
Yeah, the church isn't in the circle, but they can still use it for now until the blue pushes in. Nade from Miraku finishes off the rest of Avangard, so the last player, WTSG, picking up 2 kills.
That's 14 points. That's vital. They're down the bottom. They need every point, but they're getting shot. You can see he's having to jump in the dip. MVP still sitting in those warehouses in the middle. Center compound very comfortable while everybody around them is obliterating one another. Vitality, they have to keep on moving. The last man, Cheerleader from Gen.G, trying to keep himself alive in the smoke while Cloud9 take over this hillside. They have prime position for DMRs to shoot everyone.
Yeah, spots out Dre, hides behind a vehicle. Moody doesn't want to pounce just yet. They want to get information first, but Nerf, he doesn't agree. He wants to go full steam ahead onto Monkey. This hilltop, this ridgetop can overlook almost everything. I think the only people that they can't exactly see are the 3 teams up on the north side.
Yeah, 4AM was still with 4 alive. Of course, out the side there, Vitality cut down. Cheerleader not having any of it. It was Cloud9 they were looking at. He will go down eventually. It's Jazza that will finish him off, but the damage has been done. The circle shifts. MVP in their compound. Still center circle. Tempo Storm with his ridgeline in prime spot to look down on everyone now. The ridgeline they had to fight for from Liquid. Now Cloud9 on the move. They have to push into Tempo.
Yeah, if Cloud9 wanted to leave anywhere else, they'd be walking directly into so many other teams, but they still going to have to push directly into Tempo Storm to take this from them. And I think Tempo Storm are aware of it because they're pushing down in order to hold them off, setting up a wall on this low side of the crater. Dre on the backside, though, he's a little stuck, can't move out from that vehicle. Luke also takes a number of shots, but still, Tempo Storm, they have the circle. It's a line, like a line of scrimmage just outside, and C9, they're going to have to push in.
Yeah, Moody coming down. The problem is they have the height advantage, right, when you're looking down on people, but it also makes you exposed. There's Tempo Storm, pick off Stab, and K-Mine on the way down. Gets himself a good old chance, switches to the AKM, takes down Moody, and suddenly Cloud9's pushes fell apart. Nerf, the last man standing, does get K-Mine back on his feet, tries to smoke out and get his team back on the feet. 4AM, meanwhile, they've wiped out OGN in the north side of the circle while that push was happening, and now it's FaZe. They're down to 1. Optic down to 1. Welcome to South George. 1. Knights 1. Everybody left alive, and would you believe it? In the top 9, M19 still with 3 alive. They're coming back into the circle.
They're still going to have to push in an MVP. We're talking about this eastern side, but MVP still in the center. Fuzzface does get taken down.
Tried to blast in on the bike. It's risky, and he came straight into M19. They kept themselves out there. Tempo Storm and Cloud9 continuing to clash. You can see 4AM. They're watching this play out. They've been staring at Tempo Storm for the entire time. It's Tempo and Cloud9. The North American teams both clashing with one another on this ridgeline. It's really trying to be a battle for position, because one of these teams could come out on top, but if they take too much damage, it's going to backfire. Stab and Nerf down. And now Cloud9 down to 1 again. K-Mine this time, the last man standing. Nerf's going to get flushed out, and I don't think he can do a great deal to help his team. Tempo Storm did very well to keep 4 alive on this ridge. I love the fact that your boy Dre is sitting at the back with the DMR, just giving them all the positional, because they can't see over the ridge.
Exactly. And also you have to say it's a little bit of an overextension, over-aggression by Nerf. The rest of his teammates weren't able to back him up on that, and so I like the aggressive maneuvers. It's exactly what Cloud9 needed, but it was a little sloppy. But now 4AM, they're actually going in on this, and this does give opportunity for K-Mine to push in slowly. And Tempo Storm have to go back up north to go take out this new fight, but GodV already down.
The damage has been done. K-Mine's the last man standing. Oh, and he's been picked off, ironically, by 4AM from the distance. And now Tempo Storm go and deal with 4AM. And wow, just flush out Forever and GodV. And suddenly the top hillside is theirs once again. They've done so well to fight for this. This time your boy Dre down. Third party coming in. And M19 with 11 kills. Probably more kills they've had the entire tournament, I feel. But they are starting to get involved. Now they have Drayden just below them. MVP, by the way, still with 3 alive, still just standing in the compound, no reason to panic. The only person they lost was when they decided to actually look out the windows and then realize, shut the door, boys, we're still safe inside the circle.
Yeah, picking up, actually spotting them. Models can still go through walls. Be aware of that. Example, getting a couple of shots onto that. But they're still going to have to push in, swinging up on the north side. CPT and Long from 4AM, they have a shack to play around, but they obviously can't overextend because MVP have an angle onto them. And CPT, though, runs around the backside, he gets it down to Constantine.
Nice peek. Little overextension from M19. Oh, they catch the backside of CPT and the backside of Long as well as he peeks around the side. They're trying to come around the shack. They're trying to dodge. Tempo Storm one side, M19 the other. And obviously you've got MVP down in the center just watching it all play out. Out kills, 8 kills and counting for Tempo Storm. They've dealt with Liquid. They've dealt with Cloud9. Now they have to deal with the China threat on the hillside, but all of Tempo Storm inside the circle, all of 4AM inside the circle. M19, as of yet, are not in the circle in this spot. They're going to have to move. The Blues right on their backs.
Drayden knows that M19 are in a struggle, and he has to wait for them to push in as well. Eyes on him. Peeking around the side, just wants to dodge the blue and slowly crawl in. There's not much cover for him.
Maluke gets himself a lead player. Example, the last man standing. Drayden was watching that. He may go for it. No, doesn't matter. Peng gets it. Drayden will be taken down. It's 5th place for Knights. It's a good finish nonetheless. They are obviously the leading points team in this last 5 teams standing. M19 still on their backs. 11 kills is a big score for them, but I feel 4th place may be as far as they're going to get. Alpaca gets Zampa down, so Tempo Storm down to 3 at the moment. They will get Zampa back up on his feet. They are able to revive him as long as CPT continue to hold off. Example down, MVP go out in 4th place. M19, sorry, out in 4th place. This time, they went down fighting, which I'm great to see.
Yeah, this looks like a new M19, and I'm sure
good
a
push.
couple
Look at
members on the
MVP.
desk.
MVP, Peng's going for it. They know they got the knock around the side there. Now Zampa has got himself the growth around the side. He should be able to nail them down, and just like that, absolutely eliminates them. This push backfired for MVP, and that's just lost them the game. The circle pulled away from them, so they knew they had to try and take this hill. 4 AM inside the new zone, and now Tempo Storm in a great position. We were talking right at the top of the show how they've had a really poor show in this event. Obviously, went and won in Las Vegas earlier on 2 months ago now. But MVP's push, that was horrific.
Gotta go for the revive here. I don't know how many nades they had, but if they did, they failed to use them. And that was probably the biggest failure in that push, as well as Tempo Storm being able to read that the push was happening. Shots come out from Tempo that pushes Siege off with the revive. He just wants to get inside the circle, and there is a small little piece of the compound inside. So he's just going to play it as solo and hope that Tempo Storm and 4 AM fight it out before he has to show himself again. 4 AM pushing forward. CPT had an angle. Risky
peeks from CPT there. Peeking against an SLR. That's very, very dangerous. Has to keep himself down now. Siege in on the crate. Got himself in the circle. Either way, Alpaca down. So MVP down to 1. Tempo Storm 3 and 4 AM. Just the 2. Tempo Storm going deep. They want the compound. They know that Siege is in there. They saw him going down. It does give them the low angle, though, which will give 4 AM the high ground. I'm not sure in this. I think the fact that CPT was peeking, they didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, they knew they could at least safely get into the circle going this way rather than running into 4 AM. Zampa finds out Siege, so MVP do go out 3rd. Long should certainly have heard this. He's going to relay that information back to CPT. Maluk, though, pushing up. They're trying to take away the high ground advantage, using this hill as the sole divider between him and 4 AM.
All inside the current phase. Center spot. Nobody really holds the ground. It's going to be a case of really no one could get to it. It's just to the left-hand side screen. You can see it's pretty much flat ground. Nobody wants that spot. CPT goes for a little peek there. You see the little brow over the hill. You see immediately Muke's like, I saw that. I'm going to go for your head. CPT gets himself prone. Quickly goes down. So, standard setup. DMR, long range, up close, long with the AR, ready and waiting to pounce as they peak. CPT is going to be the information gatherer. But Tempo Storm, they're going for the wider spread, and they're going for the circle. Look at Zampa. Keep your eye on him, because his flank could be crucial here.
Yeah, Zampa's flank is in a way to counter any potential 4 AM flank, but Maluk there, he's holding as a solid rock position to call out the information as the CPT is there. I don't know if he knows that Long is just over this ridge, though, and having a DMR there when Long peeks over could be bad.
He needs Bank to look at it. Bank's on a perfect flank position, but he won't manage to catch him in time. And Maluk will go down. Now CPT gets a look over the... Zampa tried to peek, tried to support him, but it backfired on him. His CPT taken very low, has to duck himself behind the tree. Zampa also low. He has to duck and heal himself up. It's down to a 2-on-2. But CPT's been picked off in the hills. That's what they needed. And now Long, the last man standing for 4 angry men from China. Will they be number 1, or will Tempo Storm pick up their first chicken dinner of the tournament? 4 AM won out on day 1 in the final game. This would be their second chicken dinner, but it'll be Tempo Storm, the winners from Vegas, that will take victory here. Fantastic performance from them. They had to fight for that hillside the whole time. It certainly wasn't given to them.
Yeah, by both teams, actually. Quite a novel attempt by 4 AM at the end there, but unfortunately, the man advantage was in the way of Tempo Storm, and when CPT got knocked, that really basically sold it for them. But a very good second place finish for 4 AM as well. The top 2, actually top 3, are outside certainly the top 3 of the leaderboard, so this is going to definitely help teams within striking distance, but maybe not at the top already start that climb.
13 kills for Tempo Storm as well in that victory. They had to fight for that hill, like you say. They took down Liquid, Cloud9, and of course 4 AM and MVP there at the end. 4 AM themselves, 7 kills and